Welcome to the Books Project 2.0. This is an update on the Books project we looked at in the previous section. This is going to be taking into account Pydantic's a lot more code changes, and this is going to be completely different as far as the coding structure is concerned. URL-wise, it might look kind of similar to the one we looked at before, but coding practices-wise and even the code itself will be extremely different than from what we looked at earlier. So this can be a little bit advanced as compared to what we just looked at. If you haven't checked it out, please go back and review that project. That's a Books project. This is going to be an update on that. So I'm pretty excited to do that. Let's move on and let's see what we're going to be doing in this project here. So what exactly will we be creating in this project? So as you can see in the screenshot here that I took from my code, we will be creating a class here. So we didn't look at the classes in the previous section. That was just like a simple Python file with add app.get add app.post type of request methods. But in here, we're going to be using a class. Why is that? Because we're going to be relying on something called base model here, as you can see, which is coming from Pydantic. Okay. Similarly, we will have fields like ID, title, author, description, rating. As you can see, ID here is a UUID, which is kind of like a primary key of that specific model. We will have title of the book, author of the book, description if it's needed, rating. You can rate the book from, I guess, 0 to 100. We will see how we can do that in a lot more detail. So yeah, as you can see, this is a lot more different than what we just looked at. And we will rely on classes, base model, things like that. As you can see here, we are importing the Pydantic package and importing base model from that, and also field here. And as you can see on the right hand side, we have the field section. This is coming from Pydantic for some sort of input data validation type of thing. So yeah, so we'll be looking into that in these coming sections. And as always, we'll be doing the CRUD operations like create, read, update, and delete, which is the CRUD operation. So create, as you might know or you might not know, create, you can use the post HTTP request method. For read, you can use get HTTP request method, or if you want a specific book, you can do get and then book ID, UUID. For updating an existing book, you can use the put HTTP request method, as you can see here. And for deleting a book, you can use delete HTTP request method and supplying the UUID. Okay, so that's what we'll be covering in this project, Books Project 2.0. And on top of that, we will also be looking at exception handlers. You'll be looking at custom exception handlers, schema configs, headers, and lot more. So yeah, that's pretty much it as far as the overview of this Project 2.0, Books Project 2.0 is concerned. Now let's jump to our code here. I'm back in my code editor here, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you how to set this project up. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I have this main.py file here, which is from our previous Books 1.0 project, and as you can see, we were using a dictionary and things like that. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to create a main_2 Python file, and I'm going to do my coding in there. So in the same directory, let's go up here, and then let's create main_. This is _2, meaning it's an update on it. So this is your file. You can create a new file. You can name it whatever you want. I'm naming it main_2.py. And if you want to follow along with me with the naming convention, your life will be much more easier because that's what I'll be using. And as always, what I'm going to do, I'm going to just create a very simple API here. As always, from FastAPI, import FastAPI class. I'm going to create an instance of that class using FastAPI. And what I'm going to do here, I'm going to create an empty books list. And I'm going to create my path operation here, or request method app.get. Okay. As always, no path parameters here. And I'm going to be creating my function, which goes along with this decorator here. This will be read all books. So this will be kind of like returning all the books we have in that list. Right now we don't have anything, but we will be looking pretty shortly how to create a book in there using post. But for now, let's just return this empty book here. So again, pretty simple. What's going on? From the FastAPI package, import this class here. We're creating an object here or instance of that class. We have an empty books list here at app.get, and we have this read all books, which is returning this empty list. Save it, and let's go back. And before that, let's fire up our UVcorn, and the name of this book is main_2 app is that instance -- reload, and we are here in the browser here. As you can see, we are returning this empty list since there are no elements in that books list. We have this empty list here. Let's go to the docs. Okay, it's gonna open up our Swagger UI documentation. Read all books. As you can see, no parameters have been given because this was an empty path parameter. There was nothing there. Let's click try it out. Click execute, and as you can see, the response body is just an empty books list, right? So yeah, it looks pretty good for now.